We'll get on to previewing the Chelsea game in just a moment. I want to chat about the fans forum. Ed is one of our patrons. He's in our Mick Shannon tier. And Ed was there on Tuesday night evening. Ed, thanks for joining us.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, all right. So Nathan Jones stuff aside, how did it go on Tuesday? What was the mood like in the room at the forum? And did you leave there feeling a bit more confident than when you went in?
I don't know. I think the evening started with everybody really not knowing how it was going to go at all, because everyone arrived. There was general milling around, and then all these gentlemen walked in the room. It was all very professionally set up, and I think everyone thought that it might be contrived. There may be questions that would have already been put to the group, and they would answer those in a in a orderly fashion. But actually, they did go to the floor and they did ask questions. I do wonder whether or not the questions were pointed at certain people on purpose. I think I've been listening to you guys talking about Bednarik in the last 15 minutes, and I asked the question, what's the guy even doing in the building, let alone on the pitch, after what he said about our football club? And it's embarrassing, and I think they answered the questions. I think I'm not sure how much I trust Rasmus after that performance the other night. I like the others. I think Steele, Semmons, Kraft, they come across well. I think they generally mean well for the club, but I worry about Rasmus and how he is like a bit of Teflon. Won't answer the question, won't take the responsibility for employing Jones in the first place, and he is a real deflector. And someone ultimately has to take responsibility for what has been a 3-month cock up, frankly, and it is embarrassing. It's embarrassing for all of us as Southampton Football Club fans. And we have to go to work on a Monday. We have to have the mick taken out of us on a consistent basis. Well, that kind of comes with the job of being a Saints fan sometimes. But this last 3 months is just embarrassing. And I think you tried to say that. I think they listened. It was an interesting evening. It was well worthwhile, for sure.
And did you hang around and chat to them afterwards? Because I saw a few pictures that actually, once it finished, they did at least hang around and they did chat to a few people, and they seemed to engage quite positively with those that were there.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't hang around because there was a mass scramble to get to these guys and have a conversation.
Yeah.
I think those that really, there's other people who are heavily into social media who they call themselves the younger Saints supporters, and they were at the front of the queue. They were there, and I find it amazing that these people can stand up and say what they do, and then the minute that the forum's over, they're up there, getting in amongst what I would call the people who are running the club and having a drink with them. I don't understand how you can say what you say and then you behave that way. That wasn't for me. That's not what I am. I said my bit and I left.
Well, there are positives to take away, though, Ed, from the night. Obviously,
yes,
results will determine, of course, the mood and what we take from most things. But were there signs of encouragement? And I know there was some stuff around if we get relegated and the investment, for example.
I think that they are heavily invested in the club. I think they've shown that in the last 6 months or so, and maybe longer. They bought the club. I think they bought some good players. I think they just didn't have someone who could run it, but no, I think they are invested. I think they're here for the long term. I generally think they care about the club. I really believe that. I do. 90% of them, I would say. So I think they're in it for the long run. I think that if the ultimate happens and we go down, and we are in a very, very difficult position, I think they'll support the club, and I think that they'll do their best to get us back up. But that's no easy task, as we all know. The mighty fall, and they can fall very quickly.
I'm going to get your thoughts on where we go next, Ed. I just want to bring the other guys in. Alfie, I know you would have had to watch that and listen through to the transcript and write it up afterwards. Was it a worthwhile evening for you? Do you think they could have been maybe forgiven for cancelling it altogether, given the circumstances?
I don't think they'd have been forgiven for cancelling it, that's for sure. There would have been a riot if they'd done. When I was on my way to St Mary's, I found a little sign that was Jones out, left in the tunnel, coming over towards the Kingsland stand. So the mood was obviously quite clear, and they wouldn't have got away with not doing it. I listened back to all of it. I thought it was pretty fair. I enjoyed it. I thought it took about 45 minutes for Henrik to get in, but when he did, I enjoyed what he had to say. They do seem honest, and I understand what Ed was saying. with some concerns, but they want to do 2 or 3 of these a season, don't they? And if they do that, and they'll say that the manager will be included in the ones at the start and the end of the season, but they won't be included in the ones in the middle of the season, which is just for the owners. So that's their official line on that. And Jacob was told that at the press conference on Thursday or Friday as well. Yeah, look, they've got to do it, and I think fair play to them. I spoke to Laurie McMenemy, actually, I suppose, on Thursday. I spoke to Laurie McMenemy, and he said that there was no way that they'd have held one when they were bottom of the table. So you've got to give credit to the club for that.
And Glenn, do you think that this is something which we should be really grateful for? Because I can imagine if you're an Everton fan, you'd love the opportunity to sit down in front of your board and fire some questions at them at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, and I was pleasantly surprised by the sort of standard of questions. Because if you take Twitter as a barometer, which you obviously never should, it was going to be a riot with people with pitchforks and burning down the Ted Bates statue or whatever. But it was no, it was decent, and I didn't listen to the whole thing, but the points that were raised, I thought in the main were pretty good. I mean, the one thing I'll say in defense of the people that spoke is that you're not going to. I mean, I'm sure they'd already decided that he was gone, but they're not going to say that because there's HR implications and all this sort of stuff. So they're not going to say that, and they're not going to just give you the answer that you want to hear. There's a certain amount of professionalism that has to be around events like that. But yeah, you make a very good point about Everton, because if you, in the aftermath of us beating them a couple of weeks ago, I became sort of fully aware about how sort of distant their owners are and the way they're kind of doing propaganda through TalkSport rather than actually talking to fans and things like that. So yeah, I think it's a good thing for the guys to put themselves up, and it was a very difficult time to do it. Let's face it, we're bottom of the league and we'd lost whatever it was 6 games out of 7. So no, fair play to them, and I think fair play to a vast majority of the fans who put their questions forward because they were decent.
Yeah, we've called them out a couple of times for not communicating, and that's something that you can't hold against them now from the last couple of weeks. They've certainly stepped up as far as that's concerned. Ed, just before we let you go, where do we go next? Jesse Marsh, obviously the rumours today. Are you Team Marsh, or what are your thoughts on where we go next?
Well, I think all the managers that are free are pretty underwhelming, aren't they, at the moment? But that's why they're available, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's be honest with you. I just think that we've got very little to lose now because we're rock bottom. We have, if you look at the teams around you, you've got Bournemouth, you've got Everton, you've got Leeds, you've got Forest. None of those have got better squads than we have, in my opinion, on a man-by-man basis. But Everton are now being managed by someone who can organise a team, can set up a team to play a certain way, and we need to find that person that can unlock this team and get the best out of it for the next 16 games. And there's still plenty of points to play for, and I think we do have the personnel who can get us out of it. But ultimately, it will be the person who takes control and takes charge that gives us that chance.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on tonight. That's a really vital insight, or really valuable insight into the fans forum and what happened there. And it's good to get your views on where we go next. So hopefully next time we get you back on, it'll be discussing staying in the league and getting some goals. So we'll let you go. But thanks for joining us, Ed. Cheers.
Thanks. Take care. Cheers. Bye.